Jackie Goldschneider feels unsafe returning to Unsafe with Danielle Cabral. Jackie Goldschneider is drawing a clear line in the sand about which cast members she wants on the show and which ones she wants gone. Not surprisingly, Danielle Cabral is on her hit list after her altercation with Jennifer Aydin in season 14 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. In a recent interview, Jackie stated she would not feel particularly safe with Danielle back on the show. Meanwhile, the mom of four did not have the same energy for Jennifer, who many viewers blamed for starting the fight with Danielle. The jury is still out on who, if anyone, of the current cast will return next season, or if the franchise will get a RHONY-style reboot. All the cast members are eager to reclaim their roles, but due to the major division within the group, that's not an option. Jackie, who was demoted to a friend last season, wants to return with her current alliance, her new bestie Teresa Giudice, Dolores Catania, and Jen Fessler. RHONY's Jackie Goldschneider does not feel safe around Danielle Cabral. Jackie was a guest on Page Six's virtual reality and was asked about the new season of RHONY. Everyone is still waiting with bated breath for the network to decide what's next for the troubled franchise. However, Jackie already knows who she does and doesn't want back for season 15. Referencing the fight between Danielle and Jennifer, the 48-year-old reasoned that there should be a no-tolerance policy for physical violence. "I think once you put your hands on somebody in an altercation, you should be gone," said Jackie, adding that she does not want to be on the show with Danielle. "I don't feel particularly safe, that if I had an argument with her, that I wouldn't get punched in the face," she exclaimed. "So I wouldn't want to see Danielle back." Jackie wants Rachel Fuda gone from the show. Danielle is not the only person Jackie doesn't want to see next season. She's also not keen on Rachel or her husband John Fuda's return. "Rachel was so mean last season," said Jackie. "She was just not in a good mood. Mean, and I worry about her spouse and his past." However, the RHONY star reasoned that if Rachel returned to being a little lighter, the way she was during her first season, then she would be okay with her being back. Jackie Goldschneider sat at the kitchen island in her sleek Tenafly home, her fingers tapping anxiously against her coffee mug. The return to the Real Housewives of New Jersey was supposed to be a triumphant one, a reassertion of her place in the group after taking a step back last season. But one person, was making her second-guess everything: Danielle Cabral. The very thought of being in the same room as Danielle again made Jackie's stomach twist into knots. It wasn't fear in the traditional sense. Danielle wasn't the table-flipping, hair-pulling type, but she was something else. She was unpredictable, explosive, and worst of all, deeply resentful of Jackie. And resentment had a way of festering into something dangerous. Jackie had experienced her fair share of conflict on the show before. She had sparred with Teresa Giudice, endured tense moments with Jennifer Aydin, and even faced off with Dolores Catania. But those battles had boundaries, invisible but understood lines of engagement that no one truly crossed. With Danielle, though, Jackie wasn't sure there were any lines at all. The last season had left things in a precarious place. Danielle had made it clear through snide remarks, passive-aggressive digs, and barely veiled insults that she had no interest in playing nice. And now the rumor mill was churning, whispering that Danielle wasn't just looking to feud with Jackie. She was looking to take her down entirely. Margaret Josephs had already warned her. "Jackie, you have to watch out for her," she had said over lunch last week. "She's out for blood this season, and you know she has nothing to lose." Jackie had nodded then, brushing it off as Housewives dramatics. But now, with the cameras set to start rolling in just a few weeks, she wasn't so sure. Danielle had something to prove, and Jackie was her perfect target. Jackie took a deep breath and grabbed her phone, scrolling through her texts with the other ladies. Melissa Gorga had sent a quick, breezy message. "You ready for another season?" Jennifer Fessler had chimed in with a gif of someone drinking wine straight from the bottle. But nothing from Danielle. Not that she expected anything from Danielle, but the silence felt louder than words. The real problem was that Jackie didn't know how far Danielle was willing to go. The last season had already seen their tensions reach an almost surreal level, with Danielle mocking Jackie's career as a writer, rolling her eyes whenever Jackie spoke, and dismissing her with that trademark smirk. It was petty, sure, but the undercurrent of hostility had never faded. And then there was the incident, that one night at an event when the cameras weren't rolling, when Danielle had gotten a little too close, a little too aggressive. It hadn't been a physical altercation, but it had been enough for Jackie to feel cornered, like prey. Danielle had leaned in, voice low, smile sharp. "You better watch yourself, Jackie," she had said. "You might not like what happens this season." Jackie had laughed it off at the time, but the words had stuck with her. "You might not like what happens this season." And now, she wasn't so sure it had been an empty threat. Jackie's husband, Evan, walked into the kitchen, giving her a questioning look. "You okay? You've been staring at that coffee for 10 minutes. She exhaled sharply. I don't know if I should do this." Evan leaned against the counter, arms crossed. "This as in Housewives?" She nodded. "I want to be back in the mix, but Danielle, she's different. She's not just looking for drama. I think she's looking for a target. And I don't know if I feel safe putting myself in that position." Evan considered that for a moment. "Do you think she'd actually do something? Physically?" Jackie shook her head. "No, not in that way. But there are other ways to be dangerous, Evan. She could come after my reputation, my work, my friendships. She could go low, and I don't know if I want to play that game." Evan sighed. "Then don't. If you're really worried about it, walk away." Jackie bit her lip. That was the logical choice, the safe choice. But walking away would mean giving Danielle exactly what she wanted. And that was unacceptable. Later that day, Jackie met up with Margaret and Melissa at a cafe in Montclair. The topic of Danielle came up almost immediately. Melissa, always the peacemaker, offered a half-hearted, "Maybe you guys can work it out this season." Jackie scoffed. "Melissa, come on. You know Danielle doesn't want to work it out. She wants a war." Margaret leaned forward. "She wants to make a name for herself, and taking you down is her easiest way to do it." Jackie rubbed her temples. "I just don't know what she's capable of." Margaret sighed, stirring her iced coffee. "That's the scary part, honey. None of us do." Jackie sat back, letting the weight of it all settle on her shoulders. The show had always been messy, always dramatic. But this felt different, more personal, more dangerous. And yet, despite the dread curling in her stomach, she already knew her answer. She was going back. Danielle Cabral be damned. Later that day, Jackie met up with Margaret and Melissa at a cafe in Montclair. The topic of Danielle came up almost immediately. Melissa, always the peacemaker, offered a half-hearted, "Maybe you guys can work it out this season." Jackie scoffed. "Melissa, come on. You know Danielle doesn't want to work it out. She wants a war." Margaret leaned forward. "She wants to make a name for herself, and taking you down is her easiest way to do it." Jackie rubbed her temples. "I just don't know what she's capable of." Margaret sighed, stirring her iced coffee. "That's the scary part, honey. None of us do." Jackie sat back, letting the weight of it all settle on her shoulders. The show had always been messy, always dramatic. But this felt different. More personal. More dangerous. And yet, despite the dread curling in her stomach, she already knew her answer. She was going back. Danielle Cabral be damned.